Raja, when we are talking about the game on Real Ones, or when you're going on radio hits, or when you're talking to your partners and stuff like that, what have you seen as a former player that is the best practice of teaching and talking the game through with, the consumer, whoever you're talking to, in the most entertaining way possible? Like, is there a balance that you have to walk, or a line that you have to walk? Like, how do you approach that?
I only know how to approach things one way. I've only ever approached things one way, and that's to just say it how it is. And I don't try to make basketball entertainment when I talk it to you, to our listener, to Howard, to my kids, to coaches. I don't find that to be my job. My job is to talk basketball the way I know it, the way I lived it, the way I was privy to see it up close and personal, having played with some of the greatest to ever play and be coached by some of them. So I just try to call it how I see it. How it's received would depend on who I'm talking to, right? And their level of understanding. In a lot of cases, their level of experience doesn't necessarily have to have been them playing at a high level, but being exposed to the game in some capacity at a high level gives you another perspective on it than just being someone who sits there and kind of watches it, from time to time. So, it's. I don't think this is just a basketball conversation. I think this is it's just generally like a society conversation, how we consume many things. But, I personally don't feel like it's my job to entertain anyone and walk a thin line between keeping them entertained and telling them what's actually happening on the court. Like, I don't see it that way personally.
Howard, how have you seen like how we have evolved? Because there was a podcast the other day that I was listening to. It was Bill Simmons and Derek Thompson. It was a really fascinating discussion on just the future of everything, right? And one of the discussions that they had was Derek was talking about how he consumes basketball in this time, and basically the gist of it was he will basically read the headlines throughout the full season, maybe listen to Ringer pods, to watch the game until about April and May. And I do think that there was something to be said about that, because I do think that is how the consumer, especially for basketball, where that is going.
Yeah.
Where do you see it going? Do you agree with that sentiment? And what does that say about our league? And how do we educate in that while the landscape is changing around us? Because it's not the landscape that Raja played in. It's not the landscape that you covered to start your career, or how I covered to start my career. Like, how do we kind of bring all these things together and not make it so like, oh, it's just like such and such said this about such and such, ha ha ha. It's about more of the game.
Yeah. Going back to what JJ said, like, I want to be clear, like, I'm not here to like criticize what JJ said, but there was something he said that kind of set me off, or set off my thought patterns in a certain direction, which is why I flagged this and sent it to you. Because I feel like there is this tension that we've seen, and it plays out a lot on social media, but now it's playing out. It played out on First Take last week, and it plays out on podcasts. There's this tension between like the hardcore nerdiest of the nerd basketball fans, and I say that, I use nerd with affection in this case, versus what people now refer to as the casuals, which is a ridiculous, obnoxious pejorative, right? Real quick, casual fans, not the casuals using that word, but casual fans are the majority. Mm-hmm. They're the majority of it, not just NBA fans, the majority of NFL fans, majority of hockey fans, majority of baseball. When you see a surge in ratings for the NBA Finals, far and above any regular season game, guess who that is, folks? That's the casual fans. Yeah, the ones that you've been dumping on, saying, oh, the casuals don't understand the game. Without the casual fans, there is no game, or at least there is not the economic boom times that we see now. Casual fans are the majority of the fan base. NBA Twitter and the nerdiest of the nerds and the people who get into all these fun debates that a lot of us get into about this player versus that player and efficiency and breaking down sideline out of bounds plays and all this, that is niche. That is very niche. It is a small percentage of the overall NBA fandom. So I just want to note that for the record here. So when JJ is lamenting that if he tries to teach the game on his podcast and do a video breakdown, and here's Zion, and Zion is playmaker for the last 10 games, and here's how that's worked or not for the Pelicans, Bob. And he laments the fact that doesn't get as much engagement as him strafing, absolutely destroying, taking down Doc Rivers. Yeah, that's sports discourse. So quick perspective to answer your question, Logan. 20 years ago, we're in year 2024, right? So 2004, there's no blogs yet. I don't think blogs had come out in 2004. I think it's a couple years later. We have basically go back to the year 2000 or something, right? The year Kobe and Shaq won their first championship. I'm covering the Lakers. There are no blogs. There is no social media. There's no YouTube channels devoted to basketball. I'm not sure if YouTube had even launched yet in 2000. There are no podcasts. Yeah, podcasts didn't exist yet. There's no platform for X's and O's. There is no discussion of the X's and O's. All coverage, for the most part, newspapers, magazines, radio, TV, all coverage was basically what people now derisively refer to as the narratives. The dreaded narratives. It was about the drama of the sport, the storylines of the games, the storylines of the finals. And yeah, that's drama and feuds and sometimes fights and signings, trades, controversy. That is the sports ecosystem since the beginning of time. Most people are not breaking down the elevator doors play or split action and all that. This is not the NBA discourse that has existed for all of time. It's only in this era that we live in now where we are fortunate to have many more voices in the space, some of whom love to break that stuff down and educate all of us on it. We have Second Spectrum, and we have Synergy, and we have tracking data, and we have all these tools. And Basketball Reference. Basketball Reference didn't exist in the year 2000. I don't think they came about until like the mid 2010s. There's a lot of stuff that we have now, a lot of resources and tools and voices, and that's all great. But I just want to note that for the vast majority of the NBA's existence and sports existence, the discussion has been about the human condition. Like that's what we watch sports for, the drama and the human condition, right? Success and failure and adversity and resiliency and controversy and drama too. Like sports is entertainment. It's entertainment more than anything else. And so if you want to drill down and get into the nitty gritty and the X's and O's, I respect it. But if anyone's lamenting and doing all this obnoxious, I think, gatekeeping about how to consume the sport as if there's a right and a wrong way, that's what drives me nuts, which is why I sarcastically responded to JJ's rant with me saying, this was me on Twitter, I had a great Venezuelan dinner last night. True story. Great Venezuelan food in Miami. Enjoyed it very much. Didn't need the chef to explain how he made it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Point being, I can enjoy a great meal, a great movie, a great song, great book without thinking too hard about how it got made. And I think that's broadly how we all consume most things that we don't understand how to do ourselves. Okay, thus ends my TED Talk.